Welcome back everyone, welcome to my channel. It's spooky season. Today I'm doing this bloody look that I have going on. You can do this with a glam eye, you can make a scary eye. I wanted to go for a more bruised look today, so I do feel like this is very beginner friendly. Even if you've never worked with liquid latex before, just give it a try. And I feel like really anybody can do this if you just like sit down and take the time to do it. So yeah, let's get started. Alright, so I already have some foundation and concealer. I'm gonna start with my eyes. I'm just gonna prep my eyelids with some more concealer and then set that with powder. Look at my cute little hair bows. Got them from Spirit and they're like little bats. I don't know if you can see them, but also gonna set my under eye because I did not set it when I did my concealer. And for the eyes, I'm doing more of like a bruised look, so let me grab some brushes. So I'm gonna take just a fluffy brush. Any fluffy brush will work. This, I don't even know where I got this from, but I'm gonna take that with my BH Cosmetics Take Me Back to Brazil palette. And I'm gonna start off with this lighter shade of yellow right there. Just gonna pack that right in here. And you can use creams as well. I just wanted to make this really beginner friendly, so I'm just gonna use eyeshadows. For the mouth though, I am gonna be using some aqua activated paints. Go ahead and take that like right up here too, because I'm going to be doing kind of like a bruised look, almost like I got punched or something. So now with more of like a pencil brush, I'm going to take this purple shade right here and keep that in the same areas, just a little bit more in the center. And I'm just gonna lightly tap that. We don't want it super dark. Are you guys excited for Halloween? Because I am so excited for Halloween. I decorated my whole apartment. Let me know if y'all think there's even gonna be a Halloween, because there's probably not, but still gonna try to enjoy it. And now with that first brush, I'm gonna go back in with that yellow and just kind of go over that, blend that out. I'm gonna go in with that same fluffy brush that we used with the yellow, and I'm gonna go in with this lighter shade of purple right here. That way it's not so concentrated with that pencil brush. This will just diffuse the color a little bit more. Now I'm gonna use that same brush with this red color right here. Take more of that dark purple shade that we used. I feel like this was a little bit too light, so I'm just gonna go back over that. I'm gonna take this dark red from this Jaclyn Hill palette and just kind of lightly go over that because the red in this palette was way too light. Now I'm gonna take this blue from that first palette and that same brush, and I'm gonna stipple this very little, almost like veins. And on here it has a little bit of shimmer, but I don't think that matters because you don't really see it. Now with a clean blending brush, I'm just going to stipple around and make sure that it's all blended together. I'm actually going to take a little bit more of that yellow, just right on the edges. Now for the fun part, I'm going to be doing Brittany liquid latex. And always, always, always patch test if you're unsure if you're allergic to this or not. You could do it like right inside of your wrist or leave even on the back of your neck. So yeah, I'm not allergic to latex. I'm going to be using also disposable sponge. And then you can either use tissue or even cotton balls for this part. And there's other ways you can do this. You can use scar wax. You can use silicone, I believe. But all I have right now is liquid latex, so that's what I'm going to be using. And I'm going to be doing a bloody mouth, so I'm going to start off by just applying the latex right in this area. And I'm going to kind of do a separation and then meet them together at a point. And I'm just going to be using cotton balls, but you can do the same thing with tissue. I'm gonna take little pieces here and just apply this. And I have this random little spatula. I like this to kind of flatten down the edges. And basically I'm gonna keep building that up. So latex, cotton, or tissue, and I'm gonna do this about 3 times. And again, just building that up. And these extra pieces, just be careful, but I kind of pull them out. And I'll flatten out the edges and then kind of scoop up where I want the wound to be. And this is 2 times, so I'm gonna apply it one more time. I almost dropped the whole ass bottle of liquid latex. Oh my gosh, that would not have been good. Got it all over my leg. Okay, we're back. And I feel like once you start layering it on, it gets easier. And just do thin layers of cotton. You don't want it too thick. Oh my god. And I like to start off real thin because it's gonna get thicker as you go. And sometimes it will kind of lift up, so just kind of dab it back on there if it does. Like I said, I'll just pull off these little extra pieces. And be careful when it starts to dry because it can lift up and you can ruin the whole thing. So just be very careful. Do you guys have any Halloween traditions? I love going to haunted houses, scary movies of course, and pumpkin patches. Pretty much anything Halloween related. And if you gently tug and you feel like it's gonna ruin it, just get little scissors and cut these little edges. That's what I'm gonna do in a minute. And let this dry all the way before you go on to any next step because it definitely can ruin it. So I'm gonna let this dry and I will be back in a minute. I always keep a little fan at my vanity just in case I need something to dry really fast. I got this for my sister's wedding. It says their names right here. It's really cute. Okay, so now you want to make sure and fill around. Make sure it's nice and dry. And once that is dry, I'm gonna cut this little piece real quick before I go on to the next step. First thing I'm going to do is go over this with some of my foundation just to make sure it's more of my skin color, and then I'm going to set that with some translucent powder just to take away any shine because we want it to look as natural as possible. Can't move my lips. Okay, for this part you can use a toothpick. I'm gonna actually use my little scissors. They're not super sharp, so they're perfect if you want to be a little bit safer. I'm actually gonna use both. So I'm gonna first go in with a toothpick and just lightly, don't stab your skin, but lightly go in where I want the wound to kind of be open. Now that I have the opening, I'll go in with my little scissors and cut. Be very careful if you're using anything like this. You can, even if you really want to be safe, go in with that little thing that I used and just kind of like pick at it pretty much. And I'm not going to take it all the way up. I'm just going to keep it down here. I'm going to take the little flap part and fold it out very carefully. You don't want to rip it because it will ruin the whole thing that you just did. So lightly just stretch it out. Take it a little bit higher up. This is what it's looking like so far. Okay, so now I'm taking this bin Nye. It's called the Magic Cake Aqua Paint Palette, and it has all these colors. So they are water activated, so you need to use water to kind of get them going. Okay, so first with this crown brush, I'm gonna take this flat side right here and I'm gonna dip it. I have a cup of water right here. I'm gonna dip it in there, and I do have napkins, so that way if we make a mess, we just kind of clean it up real quick. But I'm gonna take this red color and just dip it all in there till it's nice and saturated. And then I'm gonna go inside the wound with this red color. And I felt like the wound wasn't big enough, so I'm gonna just take the scissors and very carefully cut the latex so that the wound is a little bit bigger in the middle. I'm gonna pull this a little so it's more realistic looking on the inside. Just kind of stretch it a little bit. And take that a little bit on my lips. Just gonna stipple it though. I'm not gonna just drag it back and forth. And now I'm gonna actually just use like my finger to stipple it around the edges with the red. Now I'm gonna take a little bit of that purple color with this random eyeshadow brush and do the same thing, just stipple it. I'm gonna dab it off with a paper towel first so it's not like super dark. And then I'm going back in with my finger and just blending that out. So now I'm gonna actually go in with the brown and with that same brush and stipple it out so it looks a little bit more natural. Just mainly on the edges. Now with that first brush, I'm gonna take some of that brown and go on the inside as well to make it a little bit darker. Okay, now I feel like the edges, you can still see the latex, so I'm just taking the red and going over it one more time with the reds, and then I'll go in with the purple, and then we are just about done. You can even take a little bit of eyeshadow. That's what I'm gonna do real quick. Just like take a little bit of that red and blend it right on the edges. I'm gonna blend up so that way it looks like it's bruised almost. Oh. One more time, I'm gonna set everything with powder so that way it's nice and matte. And now I'm gonna take a little bit of this stage blood and I'm gonna put it on the insides and kind of have it dripping. You can even use scab blood. I think I would prefer that more because it'll stay just right in here and it's not going to be super drippy, but it's all I have. So just use what you have and it'll work perfectly fine. I'm just going to take a Q-tip and put that right in the cuts first. I like it to look real bloody, so I just go kind of everywhere and stipple it, especially around the wound. Whatever's left over, I'm just stippling it around. Next time I'm gonna try using just tissue because I feel like it'll look smoother around the edges. Still haven't perfected the liquid latex, but I'm working on it. Don't like this harsh edge here, so going in with that eyeshadow brush from before and just blending out the edge here. Take a little bit of that yellow and just blend it too if you want. And I'm not gonna put any eyeliner or anything because I want this look to be more creepy than cute. But you can definitely do this mouth with like a more glam eyeshadow look. A little bit more blood too. And you could even splatter a little bit so it looks like a bloody mess. She's a man-eater. So this is the look. I hope you guys love it. Can't wait to do more spooky looks for you. Also, if you did recreate this, please tag me on Instagram or Twitter. I would love to see your work. So I will see you next time. Later.